Do you feel pressure or stress in these remote locations, and what situations have triggered this? I mean, certainly, I think the prime example of this, of all the expeditions and projects and sort of activities that I do, from wingsuiting and skydiving and climbing and all that stuff, cave diving has to be the most remote, even when I'm doing it in the UK. Because when you are solo cave diving and you are potentially 100 meters deep, but also potentially a couple of kilometers inside a cave system, you may as well be on the moon. Being underwater, being in cold, deep, dark cave diving situations is the most hostile environment on Earth. Forget the top of Everest and forget the South Pole. These are the most these are the environments on Earth that we as human beings are least evolved to deal with. You may as well be on a different planet. Okay, it is an alien world right here on Earth, and we are solely reliant on the technology we carry with us and the skills we have, just like astronauts are. So those are very isolating and lonely places to be. And psychologically, they are very oppressive. It's dark, it's cold, it's claustrophobic. So you have to deal with those long before you ever step in the water. You have to prepare yourself mentally before you ever step in the water. And one of the best things to prepare yourself mentally, to be calm about the situation, is to have planned it properly in advance, and not just in the last few days, but in the months and years building up to it, to make sure you have the skills and the experience and the equipment to operate in those situations, and also to deal with the problems that may occur. And I've pre-identified those problems, so they do occur, you're expecting them to occur, and you have protocols and equipment to deal with that, so that you're never actually in any danger. Did you witness or were you involved in any near-death experiences? And what were the main factors that kept you alive? It depends on your definition. I mean, theoretically, every time you jump out of an airplane and go cave diving, you are cheating death. But I've very rarely, however, been in a situation where I thought I was going to die. I go cave diving not just for work, but for pleasure. Of a weekend, I might just take a day off and leave the wife and kids and go cave diving. And that's not me cheating death. That's like somebody else going to play football in the afternoon. Because if you approach these things correctly, they can be done very safely, much like skydiving. In my local drop zone, the average skydiver there, it's a complete mixed bag, males, females, young and old. But the average person there is a bloke, late 30s, early 40s with 2 kids. That's the average person here. It's not these Red Bull drinking superheroes. It's just normal people, So it's not as dangerous as everyone seems to think. But getting back to the question, which I have to say, there's been a few times underwater, twice I think, when I thought I was going to drown. But I wasn't. I was saved, I suppose, by the equipment that I carried with me and the drills that I practiced. So actually I didn't save my life in that moment. I'd already pre-saved my life in the days and weeks beforehand, thinking about what could go wrong, setting up systems and equipment that I could then fall back to, and practicing those sort of bailout drills. The only time I thought, and even in military operations, when doing bomb disposal duties, you always feel in control. That's what I think about bomb disposal. As far as you're concerned, everything is always going well, because the second it doesn't, you're never going to know about it. So yeah, you feel the pressure, certainly, but I was always very good at compartmentalising emotions. So certainly bomb disposal is, I think, very close to and transferable as far as mentality goes to cave diving. Less so climbing and skydiving, but certainly cave diving, I think, is very akin to bomb disposal, in that it's not a quick burst of adrenaline like it would be if you're in a firefight. It's a long, slow, the pressure's just there the whole time. You have to maintain a level of mental control and stability for long periods of time whilst dealing with something quite technical, and you're basically on your own. Because even when you deep dive in teams, deep diving or cave diving, there might be other people in or around you, but you have to be self-reliant, you have to effectively dive solo. So I think pre-preparedness, both psychologically, skills-wise and equipment-wise, is what keeps you alive in that moment. As I said before, you don't save your life in that moment, you save your life in the days, weeks, months and years beforehand.